Okay, so today we'll be discussing about HTML classes, HTML ID, HTML iframe, and few other topics. Okay, so basically, till now we completed up to HTML layouts. Now let us start our classes and ID. Now, basically, when we create a web page, there are multiple divisions in a web page. Like yesterday, I explained you about the layout. In the layout, what was there? Basically, it was about, you can say, the whole division: header, body, footer, navigation. But what if we need few more divisions to create, few more sections to create? We cannot use the HTML blocks here, like the section tag, article tag, navigation tag. We need to use division also. Okay, like for example, when I open a page, let us say, let me open this one website. Now in this website, we cannot create the whole website with the help of HTML blocks like navigation, header, section, article. For this, we need to create multiple divisions. Okay, header division, logo division, menu division, then again menu division, button division. Okay, text division, the whole image division. So based on the divisions and divisions, class and IDs, we need to design the whole page. Okay, now how it works, basically everything is still same. Okay, the main thing is about the tags. So let me explain you how it will work. So let me close these. Okay, let us open a new page here, new file. So new file, we'll save it later on. Now first we'll start directly with HTML. Okay, then title. Okay, we'll name it as HTML classes and ID. Close it, close this. Okay, now it's done. Head part done. We'll start the body, and then we'll again close the body, and then HTML. Now basically, yeah, so here the HTML format is done. Now let me save this so that we can work on the code part. So I will save it as class id.html. Okay, save. Now the code is now visible, the commands. Okay, now how to start, basically. Now first of all, let me give a title here, like h3 HTML classes. Okay, now in the HTML classes, we'll be creating the classes here. So we'll close the h3 first. Now how to start this, basically? Now here we use a tag like div means a division, a container. Like we used the header yesterday, we used article section yesterday. Okay, just like that, this is a container. In a container, we contain a kind of content. Okay, like suppose for example, when we create a very advanced website, we cannot create everything without the divisions. This needs to be in a division, this needs to be in a division, every link here needs to be in division. The button is also under division, so there is a division, again division, under that again a division, then again a division. So with the help of the whole division things, we create the whole structure of the website to maintain the responsiveness also. Okay, so we use div like this, and then we close div like this. So whatever we mention in this particular division, that will be defined as a particular container that we can design simply. Right now it won't work. For example, if I put here h2 and I put here like Delhi, okay, and then I put a paragraph about Delhi. Delhi is capital of India, and then I close this paragraph. Okay. So right now, what will happen? H2 will be working. Okay. P will be also working. Paragraph tag. But what about div? Obviously, the division will be created, but there will be nothing special about the division because there is no beautification in the division. We have not defined any style in the division, right? So let me open the local host here. Switch class ID. So you can see that Delhi is here. It's working the H2, H3, and Delhi is capital of India, the paragraph tag. Now, when I right click here and when I go to inspect, so I will be able to see the division is here. And you can see the design also for the division. This is how division looks like. Like we can define a margin, a border, a padding, and the actual content. You can see when I hover to content, this thing is turning blue. No, no, not right now, not right now, not right now, and here. Why? Because this is the content of the division. We can define a padding, a border, a margin. So a division is very, very important to design a particular container. Now, let us design the division. So here we use something called as class. This is HTML class. So basically, in simple definition, what is HTML class? So HTML class is an attribute that is used to specify a class for an HTML element, a class. Okay, a kind of container design also you can say, a specification on a web page. So we'll be using class. Okay, and class name we need to define here. What is the name of the class? We can give anything, like we can give a city, because city we are using Delhi, so you need to use class something which makes sense. Okay, makes sense means if I'm defining some city name, so division class I can give city, right? It will be easily understandable by every developer. If you are giving your code to someone else, they need to understand your code, right? That's a good developer, a good programmer, a good coder. Okay, who is a good programmer or coder? Who beautifies their codings so that if the code or the project is passed on to the other developer, they must not face any issues. The code should be very, very uh, beautified, you can say, or well structured. Okay, I see a lot of users creates their project like this. A division tag is here, a h2 tag is here, a p tag is, I don't know why it's here, and the division tag again have it after, it's after 5 to 3, 5 to 6 spaces, new lines it's there. So this is not the way of coding. Okay, this is not a structured way of coding. That is very, very important to do the coding in structured manner. Okay, so I defined the division class equal to city. So now if I refresh it, nothing will happen. Why? Because I need to define the city, correct? So that is possible in the head. As you know, yesterday we defined the style, right? Same, we need to define the style here. So style open, style close, and define the class. So remember, every time when we define a class in the style, we use a dot. Okay, when we define a class, we use a dot. Dot, the name of the class, which is city. Okay, we are using division class city, so we'll be using city dot city, which means we are designing a class, and then curly braces. Now we'll design the division here. So what we can use first, let's go with the background color. So background color I can use, say that blue. Okay, color of the text I need white, because on blue white should be there. Okay, which means Delhi will turn white, and Delhi is the capital of India, will turn white. Now I will give a border. Why I'm giving a border? Okay, let me show you without the border. After that, I will give you a border if you after you understand this. Then I will give some margin here. Let us leave the margin padding and everything apart. Let me show you after doing this particular thing what will happen here. You can see this whole section turned blue because this is the division which we defined. If I right click here, go to inspect, what you see here, division class city is defined as background color blue and text color as white. Okay, this is the division, and now we can define any division we want. We can define state, we can define countries, we can define any division we want for different sections of the website. Now let me put the border here to understand more properly. So border, I will be giving 2 pixels of border with solid, and color will be black. I already explained you all about border. And then I will give some margin. Why I'm giving margin? You can see that it's little bit of you can say congested here. So I will give a margin from outside and padding from inside. Padding will help Delhi, and the Delhi is capital of India, this text to get some kind of padding here. Okay, so margin I will give as 20 pixel, and the padding I will give as same 20 pixel. Now remember, we can give margin left, margin right, margin top, margin bottom like these. It will only work for the particular direction. If I give margin left, it will only give the margin from left side. If I give margin right, it will only give margin from right side. If I give margin top, only from top. If bottom, only from bottom. Okay, same in the case of padding also. But right now if I give directly this, it will take the particular things from all side. Now you can see the margin has been taken. Okay, this is how it works. Now let me do one more thing. Let me put Delhi in the center. So what to do in that case to put Delhi in the center? Well, we're having an option where you can use center tag. Okay, so center tag helps to put the text in the center like this. Okay, now I need to put everything in center. I can also use a CSS, but I'm not using that because I'm explaining you right now that center tag is also used. Okay, well, it's recommended to use the CSS property for the center thing. It helps a lot, and it's also recommended way. But right now I'm explaining you about the center tag. Everything is in center. Okay, now let us design the font of the text. So I can use what, font family and everything. So we can define inside city also, or we can define dot city h2 or p like this also, because do not give everything in the division. Okay, division is only about these particular things. If you want to design the text like h2 p and others, you need to define a new class, not new class but in the same class, new style. I will put as a city, then h2. Okay, and then p. Now I need to give here the font family. So font family I'll give as sans serif. Okay, sweet. Hmm. give to P also. No. Okay. So now the font design also got changed to sans serif. This is the HTML classes. We can define anything we want in here. Okay. Now suppose if I want to define another division, like say that I want to define another division which is div class equal to state. Okay. And in a state, I will be defining a state name here. Say that, let's put this in center also. And here I will define h2 as state name. Let's take any state like Karnataka. Close the h2 and here the p tag. Bangalore is the capital of Karnataka. Pre-close. Okay. Now state is done. Now if I run this one, it won't work. Why? Because the division has been used as state and there is no division like state. What if I put it as city? The work will be reduced. I don't have to create a new design for this division. If I refresh it, you can see it's working, right? So division, the classes we can define one time in the web page in the style. It'll work every time, like anywhere we can use it. Okay, that's the main importance of using the HTML classes also. So we can use it anywhere we want. We can define the font size, whatever the contents must be there in the inside of that, everything. Not only in divisions, but also in span also. Now, if you remember, I explained you about a span few days back. That what is span? So when we need to define some section in the particular page, we use span. Like for example, like this span. In the span, I can define anything I want, right? I can define, suppose this was the case, right? H2 the HTML classes, H2 close. If I need to define the classes different from the paragraph, like maybe I need to highlight it. What I use here, I use span, right? Span, like this. Now, in the last session, I explained about the inline CSS where we can use style like this, and we can change the color here, like say that red. If I run this, what you see, the classes will turn red. With the help of span, we are doing this. But here we can also use the class. Say that if I don't want to define like this, I can define it like class equal to note, like this. Save. Now it won't work. Why? Because there's no class with the name of note here. So we can define a note. So dot note, like this. We'll define the color as red and font size as 24 pixels. Now if I refresh this, you can see it's working now, right? So one more special feature of the class is that it we can use in any HTML element. Like I showed you that we can use in division, which we generally use. Then I can use it in span. I can also use it in H2. I can use it in paragraph. Anywhere I can use it by defining the class. For example, I can define the P here also. Okay, but no need of doing that because it's the P is already in the division city and the P is already defined here. If you want to define something outside the division, then we can define a class here. Like here is the H2. Okay, we defined in the span. We can define in the H2L also if the H2 is outside any division. Okay, so why I'm saying this, because if H2 and P and other elements are already in a particular division, in that case we don't need to define anything separately. We can only inherit to this city tag, the city classes, like this. Define city one time. If you need to define some H2P and other tags also, then define like city H2P, and it will work for everything. If you don't want these settings to apply to P, then remove P from here and define a separate P here, like this. In that case, you can define a separate font design to P also, like font family, uh, mono space. You can see the design will change. Okay, the paragraph design has been changed, not the H2. So these practices we can do with the help of which you can define HTML class. Now let us define the HTML ID. Okay, so basically, what is the difference between class and ID is ID is used to define, specify a unique ID of HTML element. Suppose there are 5 divisions in a page. Okay, we need to categorize every division separately. We can define ID for everything. Okay, ID is the uniqueness of every element. ID is very, very important to understand so that we can define uniqueness. This is the ID 1, this is the ID 2, this is the ID 3 in terms of text only, not numbers. Okay, so ID attribute also we can use the same way we use the class attribute. Okay, let me explain you that. So let us start the HTML ID here. So H3 HTML ID. Okay, now same way we can use the division here, like this div. Okay, but let me not explain with that. Let me explain with the other things. Say that H1. So in the H1, I'm defining something. This is example of ID. Now I defined the ID here. I defined the H3 here. Now H3, when I load this, when I refresh the web page, you can see this is example of a ID. It's normally being printed here. Nothing special about this. Now I'm to define this particular element as a unique element. Maybe I need to use it somewhere in JavaScript, in PHP, in backend, in database. How I fetch this particular text? I need to use ID to define. Without ID, I cannot find the unique content in the web page. ID is used to define the unique content. So ID equal to, I can put it as my header, anything you can give it as. Remember, ID name must not be duplicated. Okay, it needs to be unique. Every time when you use my header, it will be triggered to, it will be triggered only one time. Okay, if you want to use it every time, like again and again, you can use that. But once you call the my header, it will apply to every element which you have used. Maybe you have used ID here, 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 everywhere. Once you trigger the my header HTML ID, it will trigger to every element. That's why we use it uniquely. It needs to be unique, and it is case sensitive. In the class and ID, it needs to be case sensitive. So the ID name must contain at least one character. Okay, and cannot start with a number and must not contain white space, which means it needs to be start with a text only, not number, and must not contain any spaces. That's why it is unique. So what is the difference between a class and ID? So a class name can be used by multiple HTML elements, while an ID name must only be used by one HTML element. So I already explained you that this needs to be used only one time. That's why it is unique. Suppose I am creating a contact form. A contact form with first name option, last name option, age option, city option, country option, and a submit button. All the input boxes needs to be defined a ID like this, so that we can trigger some JavaScript and other backend codes. Okay, but one more option we are having here is, apart from the uniqueness, we can define some design also here, like this. Suppose I want to design the, this is example of ID h1. What I can use, I can define it like hash. Remember, ID needs to be started with the hash and class with dot. So hash my header, like this. Okay, you can see it turned blue. This means it's ID. Now I will define it as the color. I will define it as the color is black. Okay, define the background color of this. So yes, we can define the background color of any element we want. So I'm defining it as red. Then I'm giving it some padding. I'm giving padding of 30 pixel. Then give us some text alignment to center. That is what I was talking about. Instead of uh, using the text, that command, we can use text align like this center. Okay, save this and run this. What you see, this is example of ID. Now I'm not used any divisions, but still it is working like this way, because class and IDs can be implemented to any HTML element. Okay, the difference is the ID needs to be unique, and the classes we can use anytime, anywhere we want. There's no uniqueness about that. Okay, let me define a few more things in here. Like for example, the font family. So font family, we can use it as sans serif. Then we can define the border as 2 pixel solid black. Okay, now one thing is border radius. So what is basically border radius? Border radius will give you curve from the edges, like suppose 4 pixel. Notice here, in this element I gave a border pixel. You will notice this edge and this edge will be rounded up. Okay, not that much. Let me give more radius. You can see I gave 40 pixel here, and the edges are rounded like this. This is the border radius. Okay, I can reduce it to 20 pixel. You can see this much of curve is here. Okay, this is the border radius. This is the HTML class, and this is HTML ID. ID needs to be unique, and class not needs not to be unique. Okay, both needs to be case sensitive. Okay, and must not contain any numbers, only text. Okay, now why basically ID is used? So I told you already, ID is used for uniqueness, defining unique content. Now see that I am running a JavaScript for the web page, which needs to be triggered on a specific element. How can I define the element? We cannot define with the help of class. We need to use ID. JavaScript will only work with the help of ID because of the unique content here. Let me give you an example. So here I defined ID my header. Let me put a JavaScript here. Okay. So in the JavaScript, what I will do, I will change the content manually. Right now, the content is this is example of ID. But what I will do, when the page will load, I will trigger a JavaScript which will change the text from here. How is possible? Let me show you how is that possible. So I will be using a script. You can script anywhere you want. Specifically, you can. It is recommended to use in the footer only. So I will define a script. Remember, JavaScript is defined in script only. Script tag. So I'm defining a JavaScript. Starts, ends. Now I will define a function. Every time when we define a JavaScript, we need to use a function. Okay, and every time when we define a function, we need to give a unique name here to the function. Right now let us give it as uh, change text, because I'm changing the text, that's why change text. It needs to be unique, we cannot reuse this, so it needs to be unique only. So change text and curly braces. Now here I will be getting this element by ID. Okay, this is the ID. So get element by ID. So name of the ID will be my header. So I'm getting the element name by ID from the web page with the help of JavaScript. Now when I get the element name by ID, I need to set the inner HTML of the web page, inner HTML of the ID to something else, like uh, have a nice day. Okay, like this, and then end this, save this. Now I define the JavaScript a function change text, which will change the text of my header to this have a nice day, which means the particular text, this is example of ID, will be replaced with this. So it will work right now or not? It will not work because we have not triggered anything right now. We need to trigger the change text. What we can do in this case, we can create a button, or either we can load in the body itself, like body on load. What is on load? So basically, on load means that when the body will load, when the web page will load, what things you need to trigger out. I don't want to click on any button. I just want to load when the body will load. So once I load this, right now it's not changing this page. I may need to use it here. Okay, let us try first of all using button. Let us see if in button if it's working or not. Then we'll try with body on load. Okay, now let us create a button here. So button we can use with the help of the button tag. So button on click, which means when we click on the button, we need to execute uh, the change text function of JavaScript, and then put something in the button like change text, and the button needs to be closed. That's it, done. When I refresh it, You see a button here, change text. Need to check. If I click on this, text is not changing. Let me see what's happening here wrong. Okay, I missed one thing here. That is document. I forget to mention here. Document dot get element by ID. Without document, we cannot use this. Okay. So now refresh this, and when I click on change text, it's not still working. Just wait. Maybe some kind of mistake I may have done here. It's all about syntax error, or maybe if I miss something else. If you see, then type in the live chat if you're able to see. Parenthesis, where parenthesis, on click change text. Yeah, oh yeah, okay. I missed this one. Okay, let us try now. Yeah, it's working now. Yeah, okay, great. Uh, thank you everyone. So yeah, I was missing the parenthesis here. Okay, so in the parenthesis, what was there? Like this. This needs to be mentioned. This one. So I forget that. Okay. So on the click of the button, I'm changing the text. So previously it is this is example of ID, and now when I change text, it is changing to the have a nice day. Okay, that is how it works. Now I was talking about on load, like when the web page loads. In that case, I need to change it also. So I will put parentheses here also, and once I load this, it will be auto. You can see that it is already have a nice day, and sometimes you can also see it is being changed. Previously it is something else. After body loads, it is changing to something else, right? This is the JavaScript, or I can simply click on the button and it will change. Now this thing also we can work on class also. It's not about like we cannot use this in class. We can simply use this as get element by class name. Like this also we can use, and we can define the class name here. Sorry, let me retype. By mistake I cleared this. Document Okay, so this is the example of the HTML element and the JavaScript. Okay, so now let us move to the next topic. So we'll be using now HTML iframe. Okay, so what is basically an iframe is, now say that if I want to let me explain you with the help of example. uh, it is used to define a web page inside a web page. What if I want to display Google inside this particular web page? What if I want to display Facebook inside this particular web page? So that's possible. How we can use that? Let me define it. So we'll be using a new page. I'll be creating a new page. So same, the basic HTML tags. Okay, I'm defining it as soon as possible. Title, HTML iframe, title close, head, body, HTML iframe, body close, and HTML close. Let me save this. Okay, so it's done. So HTML head, title, body, h2. Now I will be defining an iframe here. So it's very simple. I'll just define the iframe tag. I can close like the iframe tag like this. Okay. Inside this, there is nothing to define. Just define it here. src. src is the source of the web page which you want to mention. Like suppose Google, https google.com. Okay, let us save this and let us open the iframe. So you can see Google refused to connect because it's all about security purposes also. Google is not opening in this. Let me use something else like wikipedia.com. What you see, Wikipedia is opening. Okay, now I can define the size and height also. Like suppose if I want to define some height and size of the whole iframe, I can do this also. Like I can just simply mention here the height. In the height I can mention it 500 pixels. Okay, no need to define pixel px, just like this. I can define the width also. In the width I can also give 300 pixels like this. Give it more 600 or 700 pixel. Okay, that's it. Now let us save this and let us reload this. So what you see, the size increased a little bit. So I can use some other pages in my web page with the help of the iframe. That is iframe. Okay, and you have this particular scroller also, which we can use, or we can disable the scroller also. Okay, then we have something here like suppose define the title of the iframe. So I can define the title here like this. Anything I can give it here like iframe title. Okay, it's a normal thing. When we save it, when we refresh it, okay, so next thing, I want to remove the border of the iframe. That is also this, that is already a part of CSS and style, right? If we can define the body, now I can do like this style and border. Okay, so anyone tell me what if I want to give a border, I use 1 pixel solid and the color. What if I want to remove the border by default? Sometimes border is there by default. What to use in border equal to if I want to hide the border, not show the border? Anyone? Yes, none. I can use it like none, like this. And when I refresh it, just wait. Spelling is wrong. Style. So you can see border is gone. So whatever the border was here, it's not visible. We can now see the white color is now being matched. the background with this particular page. Okay, so the border is now gone. Yeah, style spelling was wrong. I corrected it. I fixed this. This is the border. Now, if you want to give the border, you can give it also like 2 pixels solid black or whatever you want to use it here. Okay. Now, a few more things we can do in here. Like suppose if you want to define target of the link, then we can do that one also. And there are lots of other stuffs also. Okay. This is the HTML iframe to define an inline iframe. Okay. So last topic, let us discuss about last topic. That is it for today's session. Last topic we'll discuss, that is JavaScript. Okay, I'll be using a small JavaScript because I already explained you how JavaScript works. This is the example of a JavaScript. Okay, script, and then triggering the script with the help of button click or body load. Now I will define a JavaScript for displaying date and time. When you click on the button, it will display you date and time, today's date and time based on the network. Okay, so I will create a new file here and will define everything similar. So head, title, script, JavaScript example, TL, head, body close, HTML close. We'll save it as javascript.html. Done. In the body, I will define first of all the h2, my first JavaScript. Okay, and here I can define the JavaScript. It's very, very simple. Okay, so basically we just need to define the inner script. Okay, I'm not defining the external script with the help of script tag, but I'm defining a inner JavaScript, inline JavaScript, which you can say. I will be triggering it in the button. So button type equal to button on click. So you already know what on click, which means what will happen when we click on that. So this particular thing which I'm using, document dot get element by ID. I'm using something as button or something, use let us time or let us use demo. Okay, dot inner HTML equal to date. Now this thing I can also use where in the script tag also, but I'm not using that one because it's a small thing. I'm just showing you this thing also. This also you can use in the inline also. No need to define a script separately. So script example I explained you already one time. This example also needs to be understood. I'm mentioning here click to display date and time. Now button close. Okay, now nothing will happen right now. Why? Because we need to define the element demo where time needs to be printed. So I will define a element p with id equal to demo. So p tag close. Now let us refresh or let us open the particular page, JavaScript. When I click on display date and time, what you see, Wednesday, July 28, 2021, 9:19 GMT, 5:30 IST, India Standard Time. So we are able to see the date here, right? So because the paragraph tag is defined here, if we remove this one, there will be nothing to print out, right? It will trigger out, but where to print? There is no element demo. I can show in H2, H3, div, anywhere I can show it. It doesn't matter. Okay, just wherever the ID will be there, it will print out. That's why ID needs to be unique. Got it? This is the JavaScript. Okay. Now the next topic is about some layout, responsiveness, symbols, some emojis in HTML. That will be last of our HTML. Okay. So that is it for today's session, everyone. Videos are pending from last session that will be uploaded today only with this session also, and the codes also will be uploaded for yesterday and today. You can practice out that. Okay. So that is it for today's session, everyone. You can now leave the class and have a good day. Thank you for joining. Bye bye.